Welcome to the session on financial management and budgeting. We have discussed all the elements of the management and the related concept. Today we are going to discuss a very important concept, that is finance. Because without finance we cannot do any of the activities. It's one of the most crucial component of management. And management of a finance is also a very crucial process. You must have seen your MS and other administrators calling your finance officers for various advice during various activities and their advice. In the hospital we have accounts officer or senior accounts officer who is always there in most of the meetings. We will try to cover up what is financial management, financial planning, budgeting, cost analysis and audit in brief. All of you are managing your finance at home and must be budgeting your activities, monthly activities or 6 monthly, whatever your process is. And you must have seen you have to plan, organize and control your budget. Where all you spend your money, the resources on which you allocate the money, you have your own priorities. Same way, hospital or a government has their own priority when they allocate the resources. Today to discuss with me, we have Ms. Sukriti. Welcome Ms. Sukriti to the session. I will request her to first give us a overview of concept of financial management and financial planning.
So, financial management means managing the flow of funds in an organization. It deals with the best or the optimum way of how do we procure the finance, that is, how do we get the money from different sources, analyzing those sources, picking up a source, and then once we have that finance in the organization, what is the best way to utilize those funds. So, financial management is a process where we plan, we acquire, and then we utilize the funds so that we can function in a very efficient manner and increase the value of the organization and its activities. Financial management as a process deals with certain activities. The first of them is evaluation and planning. That is, we look at what are our current operations, what are we doing presently, what is the financial effectiveness of it. So we evaluate the current position and we plan that how much money we would need in the future for different activities. Financial management secondly also deals with long-term investment decisions. Investment means where do we utilize the funds. So in the long term, how are we going to utilize that money? We plan for that. For example, we could get new equipment, new machinery, or open a new facility or service department in an organization or in a hospital also. And this is called as getting more fixed assets. So how are we going to utilize it? Thirdly, it deals with the financing decisions. Financing decision means how are we going to receive or acquire the funds. So this kind of decision is usually taken care of by the senior level of management. Fourth is working capital management. This means that how are we going to utilize the funds in day-to-day operations, the cash or inventory or on our daily needs. Working capital management is dealt with managers at all levels, not necessarily just senior level, because day-to-day operations are carried on by even the middle level managers and frontline managers. Lastly, fifth, financial management deals with managing the financial risk, because when we obtain finance from any source, we undertake certain financial risk. And so, in sound financial management, in proper management, we also try to reduce our risk and keep it within control. We cannot just keep on borrowing money or raising money where our risk goes very, very high. Financial planning is one component of financial management which deals with estimating the requirement of the funds, specifying different sources from where we can raise those funds, and then critically evaluating those sources and deciding on one or two sources from where we will end up receiving the funds. Financial planning is very important because it helps the organizations to have enough funds at any time so that the operations can be carried out, day-to-day work can be carried out, so that the work of an organization is not hampered. Because why? Because we did not have enough money. So how do we go about financial planning? Firstly, we prepare a forecast of the future. How much do we estimate? What our financial statements would be. That is, how much money would we need, how much we will raise, and how much our profits will be. Based on those estimates, we see how much money do we need to raise further. Then we classify different sources, evaluate them, and specify certain sources. Financial planning is very important because of certain reasons. First and foremost, very important, it helps organizations to reduce the uncertainty about future and prepare them for the future by forecasting. When we are forecasting, we are making informed decisions about what will happen in the future, and accordingly we are planning today. Secondly, since we have planned how much funds we need for what activities, this also helps us to reduce the wastage and avoid confusion. Once we have the funds, we know to how much to allocate to each and every activity or to every department. Then third, it also links present to the future. That is, where we stand today, we take an account of that, and then where we will stand in the future, and accordingly how much more finance would be need. Then it also helps us to have a sound financial structure and make sure that the usage of the funds is proper. That is, there is no wastage or extra spending anywhere. And lastly, it also helps us to control the usage of funds, monitor it and evaluate it so that no excess spending is incurred.
I think it's very nicely explained about the financial management and planning. What happened? I will summarize just this. That means elements of financial management and is planning, organizing, directing and controlling, so that sound decisions can be made by the top level managers in the hospital. And some of the principles of the financial management is, it has to be timely. Proper justification has to be given in the government when we ask for any amount budget. Then it has to be documented properly and approvals has to be taken. There are processes in the government sector where we follow all the channels and the approvals. So in nutshell, what Ms. Sukriti has explained us is, first we do planning of the budget. We review what was the past performance in the last year. Then assess the current targets and the needs. Then link the current need with the services we need to provide in the current financial year. Then draw the budget and set the targets. Then allocate resources for all the services. Unless you do allocation properly, your budgeting will not be proper, because every resource will come with the budget, with the money only. After that, ensure budgeted spend as per the plan and within the framework what you have planned, and monitoring is done in between. After that, last is evaluating and reporting, linking the expenditure with the outputs, drawing the annual plan, and then reporting it to the higher authorities, then start again planning for the next year. That is in nutshell about the financial management and the planning. Now comes the second concept, that is budget and budgeting. What is budget? Budget reflects the services and priorities. It is a framework of spending money for assessing the financial performance. Budget does show how much is the cost, reflects policy choices, sets in the motion of implementation of the plan, reflects what is the revenue and how much is the expenditure. Then it gives a framework for the accounting and the auditing also. With this background, I will request Ms. Sukriti to explain us about the budget and budgeting.
So, budget in very simple terms is a financial plan. We estimate what will be our revenue and what will be the expenditure that we would have to incur for certain time period in the future, say for 1 year or it could be 1 quarter, and this estimation is called as a budget. Budgeting is the process of creating a financial plan on the future projections of the funds or finances. So the process of creating a budget is budgeting. Why do we make a budget or perform budgeting? It has two broad objectives. First is it provides a basis of control of the financial performance so that we can monitor the financial performance and whether it is happening as per plan or not. And secondly, it is also a tool with which we can control the cost. In a budget, we can see how much are we going to receive money, where we need to spend money in the future, say for 1 year if we are making budget for a year. And then once we have received the money and the actual operations start, we can take that actual performance and measure it against what we had planned in the document that is documented in a budget, and so that we can control the cost accordingly and measure our performance also. Budgeting is a very important process in any organization because it sets the boundaries within which managers can function. Budget outlines, say for my department, if some money was allocated for every activity, then that is my upper limit in which I can function. So it gives the managers a boundary level or perimeter for being able to function, and also it allows the managers to see if there is any variance in the work that is happening, and then they can report that variance and also guide their departments or their teams to reduce the variance, or that is variance between actual performance versus what we had planned. So budget in a nutshell is a tool that we use to plan and then to control.
I think it's very clear to you what is budget and budgeting. I will just add on few more things. Just recall that the budget, it's a financial statement of a plan for a specified time period to achieve the specified financial goals and objectives of an institution. Our financial year starts from 1st April to 30th March of the next year. That is in all the government institutions. What are the features of the budget? Already Ms. Sukriti has told you, but I will just highlight few of them. It is a financial statement of plan of action. It is expressed in terms of money, that is quantitative terms. It is prepared in advance prior to implementation of your operational plan, because you have to allocate money to all the services and the resources. It is prepared to achieve the specific objectives of an institution. It indicates cost, revenue and the capital heads for various activities. Budgeting, as she has already told you, it's a process of preparation, implementation and operation of budget. It also involves formulation of plan for a specific time period expressed in monetary terms. There are various types of budget. As the classification, we can say as per the time period, it can be long-term budget, maybe for the 5 years. In the 5-year plan you must have seen. Short-term for 1 or 2 years annual plans. Then current in case of emergency if it is less than 6 months. Then according to the activity, fixed budget and flexible budget. For fixed budget is for the fixed activities and flexible is can be revised over a time in case there is any emergency or disaster. Then there is nature of transaction. It can be capital, that is capital expenditure, and operating budget is for day-to-day expenditure. What is budgetary control? It is a process of determining various budget figures for an organization for the future and comparing the budget figures with actual figures for deviation and taking some remedial measures. That means there is a control system. What was budgeted, how much is being spent, if it is spent less or it is spent more. So those corrective measures are being taken. Most of you must have seen in mostly the hospitals, sometimes what happens in January and especially in December, January, the budget meetings are there. Sometimes it is being found some of the organization hardly spend 20, 30, 40% budget and still rest is pending. So review is done. Actions are being taken that why this much less budget is being spent when already it was planned in advance. So sometimes what they do, they transfer to some other head or to some other organization which need money, or they see that the same organization what are the hurdles and they try to remove it so that budget can be spent appropriately. How the budget is being made? I will just give you one example. What happens in the health sector? Especially who will make this budget at the state level? Your Directorate of Health Services, or in the hospital your MS. They will ask all the department heads to give their physical targets and the financial targets. What was the last year? How much they have achieved? And what are the targets for the next year and how much money they need, with the justification. When all the departments send this, your finance and the planning head sit there, they compile it, review it, and then they call a meeting. Then all of them sit together and finalize and see that why the targets which were set in the previous year are not being fulfilled, what were the problems and how those problems can be removed. And then targets for the physical targets and the financial targets are set for the next year with the justification. Then this is finalized at the hospital level. Then it goes to the state level, where again the same process, your planning and the finance people sit with the Director Health Services, review this, again invite all the medical superintendents for the meeting, review, and changes if required are being made. Then this plan goes to the health department at the secretariat level. Again this process is being followed, where the decision makers at the top level are there. When this plan is finalized at the health department from all the institutions under the health system, from all the medical colleges, nursing colleges, all the hospitals, centers, all national programs, they compile all these reports and send to the planning department. Then planning department review this and give their comments. Then finally it goes to the finance department for their concurrence. Without the concurrence of the finance department, no institution can spend even a single penny. If they have to even ask for the resources with the consensus of the finance only, they can ask for the consensus. So in nutshell, this is a process of budgeting and in an organization. Nursing superintendent of an hospital has to see when the budget of the hospital is being made, she has to give the budget for her department. Unless she analyze what are the staff requirement, what are the resources she needs for the nursing care, somewhere there will be deficiency will be left, because the way a nurses can analyze their needs and give their budget with justification, it is very important that every nurse administrator, your ANS, DNS, nursing superintendent should know how to do financing and budgeting and how to give a justification. That's why it's very important to learn about financial management and budgeting, how it is being done. With this background, I will now request Ms. Sukriti to explain us about cost and cost analysis.
So, what is cost? It is a measure of the resources that are used up in providing a certain service or a product to a customer or a patient. And costing is the process through which we determine and classify how much cost was used. That is, costing is the process of assigning a monetary value to the resources involved in providing a product or giving a service, or in terms of hospital, in providing a hospital operations and providing hospital care. Costing can be done at various levels. That is, we can do it at an organizational level. What is the cost involved in running the organization? We can do it at department or service level. And also in hospitals, we can look at it at individual patient level. That is, in treating a patient with certain conditions, medical conditions, over the full cycle of their care, how much cost is involved in giving the patient care. Why do we want to analyze how much cost does it take to run a department or one specialization or to treat a patient? The purpose of costing is two main purposes. That is, we plan and we control. What do we plan? We look at, when we look at the cost, we see how can we increase the revenue, how can we lower the cost, and therefore increase the efficiency of our services by studying the cost and the type of costs that are involved that we incur. Second, when we talk about control, when we study what are the different costs involved, we see, is there a way we can reduce the cost? And if we have planned how much, say, one department will incur the cost, are we going too much over the plan? Are we going to under the plan? We compare the performance. We look at the expenditure against what was planned and make our reports, and this comparison can be done not just internally, that is with our plan. We can also do different comparisons, that is one department against the plan. We can do intra comparisons, one department against another department, or with one particular kind of service providing one specialization versus some other service or specialization, and also external comparisons, that is within one hospital to another hospital. And this gives us very much information about where should we focus and also if we are going wrong somewhere.
I think cost analysis is clear to you. I will just summarize for you. It is an act of breaking down a cost summary into parts and studying and reporting each factor. That means it helps in determining expenses related to services provided to the patient. It provides tool to collect what was the expenses and tie up and relate with the services. The purpose is to increases understanding how to use the fund, helping determining which services to be focused on, helps to set the fee or the charges. Although in the government sector, government provides all the services are free, but some user charges are being charged from the patient, but they are very nominal as compared to private hospitals. So government on the other hand have to pay from the budget what they get from the government for the services, although they are not charging from the patient, but still the cost is there for all the services which is being associated. That's why you must have seen when the budgeting is being done or costing of services is being done in the hospital, most of the administrators say hospital is only taking money, do not return us in the form of money, so that it is not very cost effective department. But on the other hand, technically if we see, yes, government sector is spending money on the health services, but in return it is giving output in the form of good health to the people, so that they are productive overall to the society and they give back services to the society. Health services is considered as a costly department. Although few states have increased the budgets under National Health Mission, even center provides support to the states to strengthen the health system, and few hospitals have some minimum user charges amount to be given by the patient, but they are very nominal as compared to the market rate. So costing is very important to do, so that we provide equal basic services to everyone. Now the last component is audit. I think all of you have seen an audit team in your hospitals or the institutions where they are working. As soon as the your administrators come to know audit is going to start, they become very active. They collect all the documents, all the things, whatever was there, and they try that everything is in place before your audit team arrives. And when the audit team arrives, they start their process and they can demand anything from the hospital related to the activities or what you provide to the patients, or regarding the personal management, regarding the administration, regarding research, teaching activity, because they have to scrutinize all the documents, because money is being spent on the various activities. So I will request Ms. Sukriti to explain us in brief about the audit.
So audit, like we discussed, is scrutinizing. So it can also be called as an instrument of financial control. That is, once the budgeting is done, once we have the funds and we are utilizing them as per the budget drawn, then also a control needs to be there, that it is being spent on the heads for which it was, or for the purposes for which the money was given, and it is being spent properly. So it is the financial control against any excess spending, against any fraud that may happen, or misappropriation of funds. That means spending funds for another purpose other than what it was sanctioned for. How is this process done? How is a control measure and controlled checked? It is checked by using vouchers, that is documents of the spending. They give an evidence of where the funds were utilized, and in the process of audit, the vouchers are checked and also their accuracy is checked. So, an audit can be called as a process where we verify the accounting records to check for the correctness of transactions and the completeness of transactions. That is, if you are saying that we spend money on one thing, is it accurate or correct? And also, is it complete? That is, if you are not hiding any other transaction that may have happened. So, we check whether the money was spent for which it was sanctioned for. It was sanctioned by a proper authority. And also, the calculation of the vouchers is correct. That is, the numbers should add up. It should not be that you are showing 2 plus 2 5. That is, that those numbers should also be accurate and be verified.
There are two types of audit. One is internal and one is external. I think in most of the hospitals, internal audit is carried out by your internal team, which comes from your parent department, maybe from other hospital or from your headquarter. And external audit is by your authorized accounts department. AGCR in the India, they conduct the external audit and external teams comes there and they do the external audit. What is the process of it? Already I have given you a brief. First of all, there is a planning is being done to gather all the information, because audit has to be done internally every year. Externally depends 2 years or every year or 2 years or 3 years. Then audit team gives the date to the hospital that they will come on this date. The team arrives and have a preliminary meeting with the head of the hospital and your finance team and the administrators. They collect, they inform what all things they need. A space is being provided to them and all the documents, related documents are provided to them. Sometimes even they visit the hospital, how the hospital is functioning, your various services they see, and your even administrative department they see and meet the people also. Then they do the audit and whatever their preliminary report is, they discuss with your administrators, and some of the objections which are being put, they try to remove with the documentation if it is being provided. In case there are major variations, they put an objections and submit their final report, and that final report is being sent later to the hospital and hospital will answer the objections. So in this way, the planning of the audit is being done and it is a process followed in all the organizations. Just I want to clarify one point to all the students. Audit is not only regarding what you are buying equipment and how much salaries you are paying, how much benefits you are paying. Even they can see the service book of the any employee. That's why you must have seen some of the organizations every year they complete the service book of all the employees as per the government guidelines. Suppose I have gone for study leave for 2 years and government has given me pay for the 2 years, because after 5 years I was granted study leave with pay. So that audit team can ask how many people in your hospital has gone for study leave, give all the service books of that person. What they will do? They will see that proper leave was granted. Actually, they have completed more than 5 years of their service. How many allowances were given to them? Some of the allowances are not being allowed during study leave. A proper deduction is being done. Have they given their tax? They have paid the tax. And actually have they completed the course, and have they completed the course from the approved organization from where they have gone, and all the approvals are being taken before they have gone for the study leave. Why do all these things? Because the cost is being approved. Have they signed the bond? Have they returned back and joined the duty? All these entries needs to be complete. So this is the one example I am just giving you. So it is not only the services what you provide to the patients, what all things are being purchased by the hospital. Even they can go and visit the stores and see how much is they have spent and how much is left and how much they are going to order in the future. Are they actually spending? Are they actually giving the medicines or they are just stocking it? So equipment, suppose they had purchased some machines for lakhs of rupees, are they actually using in the hospital for the patient care, or it is being just dumped in the store and kept because there is no one to operate it? There were some incidences where it was found the hospitals have purchased the machines, but no training was given to the employees and no one was knowing how to use it, and sometimes the machines go out of order, there is no one to repair it. So these all issues are being taken care of during the audit. So in this session we have today discussed about financial management, financial planning, budget, budgeting, cost analysis, audit, types of audit and process of audit. I am thankful to Ms. Sukriti to explain us about the management aspect of all these components. I hope with the examples and the explanation you are able to understand what are these components related to financial management. I request all the students to give their feedback, and still if you have any questions you can send us on the WhatsApp group.